Hi, I'm Claire and welcome to Genrewise, news from the world of SFF. I'm recording on February 24th and today we're going to start by looking at a lot of awards news, then we'll move on to books, a little fandom, then film and TV news, and finally IRL news. For every item that I'm talking about, I'm going to link extra information and more in-depth articles in the description box below, so you can always check there for further reading. First up, we've got a bucket load of awards news, which shouldn't be too surprising because, as my friend Anna pointed out, 'tis the season for awards right now. Quite a few awards have released their final shortlist in the last couple of weeks, including the Nebula Awards, which are voted on by authors, editors and professionals working in SFF right now, the BSFA Awards, which are given out by the British Science Fiction Association, and the Aurealis Awards for Australian science fiction, fantasy and horror fiction. And of course there's also our very own BookTube SFF Awards. The shortlist came out earlier this week and I'm super excited about this year's nominees and about this year's award in general, since it is my first time being a BookTube SFF award judge and kind of seeing things from the other side. Anyway, congratulations to all of the finalists. I wish I could talk you through all of these amazing shortlists in more detail because I'm so excited about all of them, but there's just not enough time. I'm linking all of them below and I would recommend you check them out because there is so much great SFF being published at the moment. It really is an embarrassment of riches. The Tiptree Fellowship Program, which provides support and recognition for new voices changing our view of gender today, have announced the selection of 2 new Tiptree Fellows. They are Vida Cruz, a Clarion graduate and the first Filipina to win first place in the Writers of the Future contest, and Ana Hurtado, who holds an MFA in Creative Writing and Environment and is currently a professor of English in Ecuador. Congratulations to both of them. We've also got a winner for the 5th annual Dwayne McDuffie Award for Diversity in Comics, and that winner was Archival Quality, a graphic novel about a museum archivist struggling with past relationships and mental health. Before long, she starts dreaming about a mysterious ghost. Archival Quality was written by Ivy Noel Weir and illustrated by Christina Steens Stewart. And finally, the winners of the 2018 Dice Gaming Awards were announced. God of War took home Game of the Year as well as a whopping 7 other awards, and it's also nominated in Nebula's brand new game writing category. Other winners include Beat Saber, Into the Breach and Marvel's Spider-Man. First up in book news, Nightshade Books have revealed the cover and table of content for the Best Science Fiction of the Year Volume 4 that is edited by Neil Clark. The cover art is by Mac Zdaba. The book comes out on July 2nd and it will feature science fiction stories originally published in 2018. They are from a fantastic roster of authors, including Kelly Robson, Lavi Tidhar, Sophia Samatar, Yoon-Ha Lee, Aliette de Bodard, and most excitingly, quite a few authors that I've never heard about. So this could be a great chance to discover some new favourite authors. Next, we've got a release date for Rainbow Rowell's highly anticipated new book, Wayward Son. It should come out September 24th, although that's probably just in the US because Amazon UK has it listed for October the 3rd right now. Literally all we know about this book at the moment is that it's a sequel to Carry On and it will continue the story of Simon and Baz, which I'm personally really hyped for already, but I would love some details please. A blurb would be great. In translation news, we've got a much beloved Chinese epic coming to the US. Legend of the Condor Heroes by Jin Yong is one of China's most celebrated literary epics. It's in a tradition called Wuxia, which combines history, martial arts and fantasy, and this will be the first ever English language translation of it. The first volume is titled A Hero Born. The cover design here is by Erwin Serrano and it comes out from St. Martin's Press on September 17th. Though it does look like it's a US only release at the moment, hopefully it'll do really well and get picked up by a UK press and other international presses too. Now look, I know it's definitely too early to be talking about 2020 releases, but publishers keep announcing them and they keep sounding super cool. And if I'm gonna have to have a 2020 releases shelf on my Goodreads, then so will you. Sorry not sorry. If you're wondering who to blame for this aside, it's Tor.com Publishing. They have just announced that they will be publishing Fina by Nino Cipri. It's a science fiction novella about what happens when a wormhole opens in the middle of IKEA and two recently broken up employees have to chase an elderly customer across the multiverse. It sounds great. I obviously want it in my eyeballs right this second, but it is expected to be published in early 2020. And finally, an update on the Spider-Man Far From Home tie-in novel that I mentioned on a previous episode. We already knew that it was being written by Priti Chabir, who previously has written for Sci-Fi and Book Riot, but we've now also got a cover and a title, and we now know that Peter and Ned's Ultimate Travel Journal is going to have loads of interior illustration by George McClements and Stéphane Cardos, who are both senior artists working for Disney. The book comes out on June 4th. Next up in fandom news, membership for TitanCon 2019 are now on sale. TitanCon is an SFF literary, media and gaming convention that is held every year in Belfast, Northern Ireland. This year they are also hosting Eurocon, the European science fiction convention. TitanCon is deeply rooted in Game of Thrones fandom, so it's not really a surprise that this year's guest of honor is going to be George R.R. Martin. The con itself will be held from the 22nd to the 25th of August, so if you're already planning to be in the Republic of Ireland for Worldcon the weekend before that, and you have spare annual leave to take, this might be a great opportunity to also visit Northern Ireland and go from Worldcon to Eurocon. Do check traveling arrangements, these are different countries. And finally, a piece of news that goes in fandom because I wasn't sure where else to put it. Lin-Manuel Miranda is going to guest star on Brooklyn Nine-Nine as one of Amy's brothers, which is just too perfect. Miranda was such a vocal supporter of the show during the 24 hours or so after it was cancelled by Fox before it was picked up by NBC. It just works perfectly. And of course there is wild speculation as to whether some of the other celebrities who called for a renewal at the time, like Mark Hamill and Sean Astin, may also come on the show as guest stars, which that would be amazing, one can only hope. First up in film and TV news, a brand new teaser for the upcoming His Dark Material adaptation just dropped this morning. We get tantalizing glimpses of the main cast, with Daphne Keane as Lyra, Ruth Wilson as Mrs. Coulter, and James McAvoy as Lord Asriel. Like I said, it's really only glimpses so far, but they are very cool and dramatic looking glimpses. And I, for one, remain hopeful that a BBC miniseries will be a better format to adapt the story than a feature film. We've also got a new trailer for the Tolkien biopic starring Nicholas Hoult and Lily Collins that comes out in May, and it looks really cool. Link is in the description, of course, to this trailer and the previous one I just mentioned, but if you like biopics, I'd say check this one out. It's got me really interested in seeing the film when it comes out. Good news for anyone who was intrigued by the trailer for The Wandering Earth, the Chinese sci-fi movie based on a Cixin Liu story. Netflix has now acquired the US and international distributing rights to The Wandering Earth, so it looks like it'll be available to stream in all territories. Netflix hasn't given a release date yet, but I'm really excited to be able to watch this one. It seems so over the top. Next up, Tommy Adeyemi's best-selling debut, Children of Blood and Bone, is being made into a movie. There was a film option included in that book deal from the start, so this isn't a very surprising development, but the project is now with a production company, Temple Hill, who have previously adapted Love, Simon and The Hate You Give, and it's also got a director attached, Rick Famuyiwa, who is currently working on the upcoming Star Wars TV show The Mandalorian. Children of Blood and Bone is about a young woman with magical powers fighting to survive in a land where magic is banned, and it's been described as an African Avatar: The Last Airbender. Another YA adaptation to keep an eye on is the upcoming TV series for The Marrow Thieves by Sherry DeMarlene. It was optioned last year, but it has just been revealed that DeMarlene will be writing the first series of the show, as well as being an executive producer for the series. The Marrow Thieves is set in a near future ravaged by climate change, and it features an indigenous protagonist. My friend Jenny over at Reading the End recommended it for folks who enjoyed Trail of Lightning by Rebecca Rowanhorse. In sadder news, the Marvel TV universe is no more. After pulling the plug on Iron Fist, Luke Cage and Daredevil late last year, Netflix have now announced that they are cancelling The Punisher and Jessica Jones, and those were their only 2 remaining Marvel shows. With Disney soon to launch its own streaming service and Netflix's deal to stream the Marvel movies also coming to an end soon, it's perhaps not too surprising that they've decided to do this, but it is still a bit of a bummer. And finally, in TV adjacent news, there's a new Doctor Who audio spin-off focusing on Missy. It was announced last year, but the first series is now fully out, with Michelle Gomez reprising her role as Missy and Rufus Hound playing the meddling monk. The series is 4 episodes long, it was produced by Big Finish Production, and it is currently on sale through their website. Moving on to IRL news, we have an update on the Red Sonja movie, and the update is, it looks like it's not happening for now. After credible allegation of sexual assault against director Bryan Singer were detailed in The Atlantic a few weeks ago, adding to many allegations against Bryan Singer spanning his 20-year career, the movie was put on hold, but Singer was obviously not removed from the project. That would be nonsense. The SFWA, the organisation promoting and supporting the work of genre writers as well as organising the Nebula Awards, have announced the final list of candidates for their Board of Directors elections. This year, the President, Secretary and 3 Directors at Large are up for re-election, so good luck to all of the candidates and happy voting, SFWA members. And finally, a new development in the court case John Del Aros brought against Worldcon 76. For some background information on this, last year Worldcon 76 in San Jose, California banned Del Aros from attending the convention. He had written on his blog about his dislike of the code of conduct and how he was planning to break it during the con, so they banned him. Del Aros claimed he was being excluded on political grounds because he's a Republican, and he proceeded to sue the convention and a number of its organizers, bringing 5 different charges. This week there was a hearing and the court rejected 4 of those charges, specifically the charges that alleged various civil rights violations on the basis of political opinion. The 1 charge remaining is for defamation. I'm obviously not a lawyer and all of this is quite complex, but if you are nerdy about this kind of thing like I am, I would recommend the very detailed article that File 770 has on this. It is linked in the description box below. My favourite bit was the part of the ruling where the judge says, and I paraphrase this massively, but that there isn't any actual evidence that any sizable portion of the science fiction community was even aware of Del Aros before this whole thing started. Imagine if he just put all of the energy that he's been pouring into this for so long into writing great books instead. So that's it, this was Genrewise. I hope you enjoyed it and please let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have any awards reading plans? Are you planning on going to TitanCon in August? If anyone is going to actually do both TitanCon and Worldcon, I'm so jealous. Also, are you excited for the upcoming His Dark Materials TV show? Those are important questions and I want to know your answers. If you like the show, please share it around. I work really hard on it and I'd love for as many people as possible to see it. Thanks for watching and I hope you'll join me again in a couple of weeks' time for more science fiction, fantasy and fandom news. If you'd like to see more from me, you can check out a previous video on screen right now. And if you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button that's on my face for a new video from me every week. I've been Claire, thanks so much for watching, and see you soon.